Hello and welcome to Lovely English Stories. This story is written for intermediate English learners. Ready? Let's get started. B1, B2, English story. Back on the bike. Anthony had always been very good at cycling. It had been his passion since he was a little boy. His dad used to take him cycling through the Yorkshire Dales. He loved the thrill of working hard to get up a steep hill to then fly down at the other side. When Anthony was 13, he joined a cycling team. Cycling, for Anthony, was like meditation. Pushing the pedals round and round was therapeutic. He had thighs like steel and a focused mind. That was until the accident. One sunny Sunday morning in late August, Anthony was on a cycling weekend away with his family. They did the same trip every summer. They had a family caravan close to the coast, and they would pack up their cycling gear and enjoy a weekend of easy-paced cycling around the Lincolnshire wolds. That Sunday morning, Anthony offered to pop to the shop to pick up some bits for breakfast. This was nothing out of the ordinary. He often went shopping for the family, while his parents got everything ready for the day. He put on his helmet, got on his bike, and started cycling to the next village, where there was a small shop, a pub, and a post office. It was only 5 minutes away, and the cycle was along a quiet road. Anthony set off and felt happy. The wind was blowing against his skin, and he had a big smile on his face. He loved these trips away with his family. Then, as he turned a sharp corner, everything changed. It all happened so fast that Anthony still can't fully recall what happened. All he remembers was seeing a red car on the wrong side of the road, and the next thing he was waking up in hospital with his legs in plaster casts and feeling so incredibly sick. Luckily, the driver behind Anthony had a dash cam, so they had recorded footage of what happened. Anthony has never watched it, but his parents and the police have. The driver of the red car had decided to overtake the car in front of them. They were new to the area and didn't know the corner was coming up, which led them to knocking Anthony off his bike. The driver had to go to court, and they pleaded guilty of dangerous driving. Anthony spent weeks in hospital. He had lots of medical complications and needed to have lots of physio and support to help him to stand and walk again. It was a slow process. He had schoolwork sent to him by his teachers and had daily one-to-one lessons. Anthony spent many weeks feeling down in the dumps. His friends visited him at home, his teachers were incredibly supportive, and his physiotherapists were all very kind. But he missed school. He never thought the day would come, but he really did miss going into school and living the normal life of a teenager. He tried to stay positive, but the main struggle was to try and live a normal life. This was sometimes too much for him. More than anything, he missed cycling. He didn't know when he would be able to get back on a road bike again. Despite feeling depressed at times, Anthony powered on. He kept pushing himself in physiotherapy and worked hard to get stronger and fitter. He also tried to stay focused on his schoolwork, even though he often felt left out and bored at home. After 3 months of intense physiotherapy, Anthony was ready to go back to school. At first, he found it frustrating. He couldn't play football with his friends or keep up when they were rushing to class. Getting better really tested Anthony's patience. He had to learn to take things slower. His friends came to visit him after school as much as they could, and they often went with him for walks around the block. His best friend, Sam, also took him swimming once a week. This really helped to build up Anthony's strength. Anthony quickly caught up with his schoolwork and was soon ahead of his classmates. Because he wasn't out cycling as much, he had time to concentrate on his schoolwork. As the weeks passed, Anthony began to grow in strength and confidence. He joined a local gym and began building up his muscles again. Before he knew it, he was taking part in spinning classes, though he still felt too nervous to ride his bike on the road. Anthony's family decided to book a holiday. It was the first one since Anthony's accident, but now, unless he was tired, he was able to walk with confidence. They talked about it together as a family, and he agreed he was ready to go on a little trip. They booked a holiday cottage in Cornwall and decided that they would go for a cycle along the famous Camel Trail. The trail is 28 kilometers long and is a relatively easy cycle. The route rarely goes along a road, so it was the perfect option for Anthony to get used to being on his bike again. He was nervous about the trip, but he knew he had to try and build his confidence again. Cycling was his passion, and he missed it. He didn't want the accident to stop him doing something he loved. Half term at school arrived, which meant it was time to pack up the car and drive to Cornwall for a week of fun by the sea. The family decided not to take their own bikes. Instead, they would hire some from the village where they were staying. They didn't want to put pressure on Anthony to cycle if he didn't want to. The drive to Cornwall took a long time. There was lots of traffic. 7 hours later, they arrived at their holiday cottage, unpacked their bags, and went for a walk to see the sea. They always went to see the sea on the first night of their holiday. The next day, Anthony decided to get the bike ride over with. He didn't want to be thinking about it all through the holiday. The family went to the local bike hire company, picked 4 bikes and helmets, and started their journey on the Camel Trail. Luckily, it wasn't too busy, so Anthony had space to swerve and get used to being on the saddle again. He was slow at first, and every little bump on the pavement made him nervous. At times, he wanted to get off and walk, but he kept going. After a couple of kilometers of cycling, his legs started to ache. He wasn't used to this anymore, but as the aching grew, Anthony's nerves slowly melted away. He became more confident. The next day, Anthony and his mum decided to do another bike ride, this time going in the opposite direction. They took a packed lunch and plenty to drink. Again, Anthony started off cycling slowly and got used to being on a bike again. He kept looking down to his legs, and although they were covered in scars from the accident, they were starting to work as well as they did before. All he had to do was keep going and continue to build up his strength. Each day of the holiday included a short bike ride, and by the time the family headed back home, Anthony said he was ready to get back on the road again. He was nervous about how he might feel with cars whizzing past him, but he knew if he didn't start back now, he never would. Getting over an accident isn't just about getting better physically, but also feeling better in your mind. Anthony took his time to heal, and in the end, it was the best course of action for him, because now he is back to being a confident cyclist. We hope you enjoyed this lovely English story. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.